who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Therefore, God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father.
Today, on Palm Sunday, we stand at the threshold of the Paschal mystery, gazing into the unfathomable abyss of love that prompted God to make the greatest sacrifice, the sacrifice of himself. At the heart of this event lies a mystery that, at first glance, seems paradoxical. God, who is love, chooses the path of suffering to reveal the depth of his mercy. A passage from the second chapter of the letter to the Philippians shows us Christ, who, being in the form of God, did not use his divine status as a tool for domination or revenge for the numerous persecutions. On the contrary, he emptied himself, taking the form of a servant, becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. This is a testimony of the greatest humility and sacrifice, calling us to emulate him. In the context of the modern world, where tendencies to build self-sufficiency and seek personal success at any cost dominate, Christ's stance becomes a provocative reminder that true greatness lies not in dominating others, but in serving one's neighbor. In times when people often measure the value of life by wealth, power, or influence, Christ reminds us that the only path to true dignity is the path of love, which seeks not its own interests. The Gospels, especially the account of the Passion of the Lord according to Mark in chapter 15 and the introduction to the Passion in chapter 14, present to us the image of Christ who fully accepts human weakness, including rejection, betrayal, loneliness, pain, and death. In this context, the cross, which for centuries was a symbol of shame, becomes the highest sign of love and salvation. This is precisely the paradox of the cross. God uses what appears to humans as the greatest defeat to accomplish the greatest act of love. Our task, in response to such sacrificial love, is to open our hearts to the action of grace, which allows us to see and accept God's love, even in the most difficult moments of life. It's a challenge to not flee from small and great sufferings, but to see in them the action of a loving God. Christ, through his humility, opens the way for us to a new life, where death no longer has the last word. It's an invitation to live in hope, stemming from faith in his resurrection. Faith, which is the foundation of our Christian identity. Let this time be for us an opportunity for deeper reflection on the mystery of the cross and resurrection. Let it become a source of our spiritual renewal and an encouragement to emulate Christ in his sacrificial love in the everydayness of our lives. May God bless us all.